and welcome back to Moonlit Perspectives. I'm Mike on the mic.
Corey's back over here. This is episode number 4.
Episode number 4. Jeez, man, what a journey.
Did you ever think we'd make it this far?
Shit, bro. I don't know, man. I think every day, we think about something new and it gets better and better, but we're working on it. We got a new mic. You can see we got a new
mic, new setup,
new light.
Yeah, new light. No table here in the middle, except for our little end table that we're using right now. I don't know. Just seeing how it feels.
Yeah.
Let us know which way you like better. Do you like this way or the other way? I feel like this way's a little bit more relaxed.
I definitely did not like the first one. First two setups.
No, not the first. This one or the last one?
Yeah, the last one was nice, and then this one, I feel like it's a little bit more relaxed.
We'll see.
Couple shout-outs?
Yeah.
Couple shout-outs.
Go ahead.
So, Corey, I was at Whiskey's, and I met this girl, and introduced myself to her, told her we're doing a podcast, and she was interested, and she actually made our intro, which you'll see. It's new.
You have noticed by now that we have a new intro. So
Shout out her. She took the time out of her day. Barely knew me, so very kind. As always, shout out to all you as well. But sometimes we got to take a little bit of time to shout out those people that have been helping us out, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. For sure. There's been quite a few people helping us out through this process. So
Yeah. So
why
thank you all.
Why not just throw that out?
Appreciate all y'all. And then we got a birthday week.
Yeah, we got our birthday this week. One of our really good friends, you know him from the last episode, especially the TikTok reactions.
Those cheeks out there.
Yeah, our friend T, he turned the big 27 this year.
27 years,
Yeah,
man.
so shout out T, happy birthday.
Thank goodness he made this far,
We're
man.
gonna be celebrating. We're planning on visiting soon. Hopefully, we'll see when we can get up there and celebrate with him. So
Yeah, shout out T. Happy birthday, man. Mimi, protect those cheeks at all costs. National treasure, please. Thank you.
this week we'll talk about some stuff I saw just recently happen, or not recently happened, but recently announced just in the last couple of days. I saw that there was a 12-year-old kid in Jerusalem that.
In Jerusalem.
Yeah, in Jerusalem. Crazy, right? So
Yeah.
he was basically decapitated. But when I say decapitated, it was an internal. So the base of the skull just became detached from the top of the spine. But the skin was intact. And luckily his blood vessels were intact. So there were these two doctors who were able to perform a procedure that was just like groundbreaking, like this hardly ever happens, right? So
Yeah.
they were able to reattach his head. And this actually happened early June. They just announced it now because it was successful. They were able to save this boy.
Okay, run it back, but how did it happen?
How did this happen, right?
Yeah.
Just he was out riding his bike and he got hit by a car.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Bro, you know
They
what?
airlifted him to Jerusalem where they were performing the procedure. And actually, so it was a Muslim boy and 2 Jewish doctors, which I know there's
Holy
a
shit.
big debate there, hotly. There's a big issue there.
Yeah,
And
when it comes,
they put that aside and they saved this boy's life. And
that's what it should be about, man.
it's just crazy.
Yeah, that's what it should be about. Because imagine if they're like, oh, he's Muslim.
Yeah.
We're not gonna help him out. At
Obviously, there's
You know?
fields that are just. I mean, it should be like this everywhere.
Yeah.
But it should just be. It doesn't matter who you are. If you need help or whatever is going on, you should always. It shouldn't matter, right? And especially, just thankfully in the health field, it just that doesn't matter. It's just always neutral. You just doctors should be and are wired to just help everybody.
And I mean, imagine, like the doctors. Imagine how like intelligent they must be to like put this young man's head back together.
Put his head back on
Like-
his body, basically. The only thing that was holding his head on was just the skin.
Like
Could you imagine?
Like imagine we struggle setting up this. Imagine how
Yeah.
they struggle to like perform all that stuff. Oh, and you know what? Now that you mentioned like doctors and everything, I was actually watching this other one where this one doctor, she got her license suspended because she was doing live TikToks.
Oh no, I've seen.
Did you see that?
The plastic surgery one.
Yeah. And I guess she ruined like some people's lives. So it's like imagine if these doctors, they didn't know what they were doing.
Oh.
I
yeah.
mean, it could have gone totally wrong, man. Like
the prospect of having somebody's life in your hands, crazy.
dude, like imagine
Like so much respect. And just admiration
more
towards all
respect,
the
but
doctors.
you know, like imagine putting him back together and like something goes wrong, you know, and then like instead of him opening his mouth, like he opens his ear. I don't know, man. I just like there's just like crazy like nervous system. And, like whenever he's eating, like his throat, like I don't know, just like just something like default happens and he turns into a bot, you know. And so, I mean, do you think it's gonna affect his life now? Like,
I don't know.
do you think,
It's only been like a month, so there's no telling. I'm sure, like, who knows what kind of rehabilitation the kid's gonna have to go through. Just, I mean, if anything, luckily it happened at such a young age where his body can, hopefully adapt and overcome that situation.
I don't know, man. If he turns into a zombie, we're getting rid of him. I mean, that's where World War Z. You've seen that movie World War Z, right?
Yeah.
So that's where that movie that's where
That's the first place your head goes.
That's my first place.
Zombie.
A literally became detached. No pun intended.
Well, and so apparently it's much more common in children of an occurrence than in adults.
That they become detached.
Yeah, it's just a higher possibility that it could happen in those situations. So
I don't know.
that's
Man.
crazy, right? But now that they know that it's possible, basically they said that if as long as the vessels are still intact, that it's possible. Now they know that yes, it is possible, and this was successful. So maybe it'll also lead to more
Advances in
more advances and saving more lives in the future too.
I mean, that makes sense. But that's crazy that it happened with his head. Like he was riding his bike and just got hit. I mean, was he still alive when everything?
Yeah.
So he didn't die. Like you know how they pronounce people dead
No,
at some point, but
alive.
like the amount of pain, bro, that boy must have gone through. You know,
I mean,
just
they
12 years
didn't
old.
get to that level of specifics, but he could have definitely been unconscious. But I'm sure there was huge amounts of pain, and probably still are that he's going through now.
Yeah. I mean, speaking about pain, how's that new tattoo feeling on your cat?
Oh yeah, honestly it's not too bad at all. I did get a new tattoo. I'll put it up on the screen real quick. Ah, there you go. It is of Mewtwo. I'm super into Pokemon. We'll talk about that later.
Bro,
Nerd things, whatnot.
the Pokemon goes hard, man. I like that first movie. That first movie that came out was the one that did it for me.
Which one are you talking about?
The very first Pokemon the movie.
Well, there's a lot,
But it was the very first one that came out.
remind me.
It's the one where Mewtwo comes out and
Oh, okay.
it was what was it? What's it called? Is it just Pokemon?
Pokemon. I think maybe it was just Pokemon the movie or
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one that made it for me. But
They remade that one quite a bit actually.
oh, okay.
They made that one. It's not live action, but it's like 3D model animation.
Crap.
Yeah.
It's not like
it wasn't too bad. It was just it's the same story, just animated very differently.
and it's not like the Pikachu one, the Detective Pikachu.
No, that's actually live
okay,
action.
okay.
It's more like animated like that, like how how live action's like 3D, we're 3D.
Okay.
It's like that, just as animated. You know what I mean?
How long was the tattoo? How long did it last?
Oh, so the tattoo. It only took like 40, 45 minutes. My tattoo guy, he's real good. He's the one that's done, I think, all but 2 of my tattoos.
Yeah.
So he's done 9 out of the 12. No, it's not 11.
Yeah,
It's 12. Yeah, so 10 out of the 12, I think, is
That's more
he's
than
done. It's a lot.
85%.
Yeah, I know it's nothing.
Why you just say Mewtwo though?
That's tough. I mean, not tough. I don't put a lot of meaning into my tattoos. I guess
Oh,
I just
okay.
really like Mewtwo. I've always liked Mewtwo, just
Uh-huh.
as a Pokemon. He's just so cool, and they made whole movies just about that one
Yeah.
character. He was the original legendary,
And
right? So
And then you do have that Pokeball on.
yeah, I have the Pokeball here
Damn.
too. I don't know. I was kind of thinking maybe of doing like a leg sleeve. But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see. I only
Just
have one.
thoughts,
I only
you
have
know.
just the one, but we'll be working on more tattoos.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
you can't really see a lot of them, but they're all over my arms and side. And,
So whenever you first got your tattoo, your parents did you freak out anything in that?
which one? Like my first
Like your
one?
very first one.
Oh, yeah. So the first one, actually, funny story. The first one I got was when I was 18.
Yeah.
I think it was my senior year of high school.
Uh-huh.
Over spring break, I think.
Yeah.
I was with my
Jeez,
We went to, I went with her family to Las Vegas. My first time going to Vegas. Oh yeah.
There you go.
That was my first time going to Vegas. Was
Yeah.
that time when I was 18. You know, we couldn't really drink too much or anything. Couldn't really do all that much other, catch some shows and hang out, whatnot. But the one thing we did all go do is we all went and got a tattoo. And so
Which one was it first? Which one was the first one?
that was this one.
Oh,
And actually,
okay.
it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. So it was supposed to be greater than and less than.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, always stay in the moment. Don't look behind you or
Oh,
in
shit.
front of you too much.
That's a good movie.
But it was kind of too close together, so it just kind of looks like an X.
Yeah.
And so everyone's like, "Oh, what's the X for?" I'm like, just make up dumb excuses or reasons or whatever it is,
Hey, at least you didn't get your ex's name on there. On your...
Oh, I would never get anybody's name on my body.
No
I
one's?
get your name on my ass. YOUR.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can tell people I have your name on my ass.
And then when did your parents freak out when you got your first tattoo?
Yeah, so we got back, like, the night we got back, went out to dinner with my parents, and, like, you can't even really know, so, like, you just barely saw the little tip, right? And my mom was like, "What is that? Did you get a tattoo?" Like, in the moment, she's, like, questioning me a little bit. I was like, "Yeah, I'm an adult, whatever, we did it." Just...
We're an adult. Oh, did she freak you to that? I'm an adult,
Yeah, I was like, I'm an adult. It's fine. And she got over it. And then I just started getting more, and she just started caring less and less as I got older.
Okay.
I think around like the third, fourth, or fifth, she just stopped caring. She's like,
Okay.
oh, okay.
Yeah, well, actually, when I got my first tattoo,
Your one and only tattoo.
my one and only tattoo, bro. Like, there's a reason why, because...
Well, you're a little different. My mom, she was, kind of against tattoos, but whatever. Not to the extent of your family.
I feel like it's more like of the culture, like the Mexican culture, and about most.
I think it may just like your family specifically.
No, it's quite a few, because there's this other girl that I know, and she has a tattoo too, and I don't think she's even shown her parents it, and she's had it for a long time, and I'm like, well, why don't you show your parents it? Because they'll freak, they're literally like, I don't know, not to own her, but they'll be like very disappointed, and I feel like a lot of it has to do with kind of like the religion stuff with Mexican families, not the Catholic stuff, but I guess like they kind of value the body, because it's God's vessel, whatever they think. But whenever I got my tattoo, it was last year, and it has a little bit of meaning for me, it was because my cousin, he had the same one tattoo and he passed away. Rest in peace, Chico. But we love you, man. Yeah, rest in peace, brother. But he's actually the one that got me and you guys together, right?
That's
So
the reason.
that's one of the reasons why this is happening. So
That's the reason we have a podcast.
that's for sure. Yeah. So I got it, and I told my parents and I told my dad and my mom, and they were like, don't do it. And then I was trying to convince my brother to do it too, because I think like 6 of my family members have it too. Well, yeah, 6 of us, or it could be more. I'm not too sure, but and then we have it, and then I was trying to convince him to do it, but he didn't want to do it. So he's like, no, because my dad's in the and then I just feel like he's afraid of needles. That's the real reason why. But
Hey, fair enough. I mean, I get it. I'm not myself. I'm not afraid of needles, but I get how somebody could be.
Yeah.
Something being put into you.
Yeah. So I got it, and my dad was disappointed, but I mean, they got over it. Like you said, they got over it. I told them this was gonna be my only one. But
did you find it painful when you got that, or how was it for you?
I feel like some parts it was, but I mean, I don't know. It wasn't too bad for my first one. I just feel like the taking care of it afterwards was a little bit complicated, and going to work and having to wear a long sleeve, and covering it up and everything, and it was just a big old like thing. But now, like on Fridays, whenever we get to wear like casual shirts, I rock my tattoo up.
Yeah. I don't cover mine up with wear. I mean, I don't have they don't all show, but I have probably like 4 of them that you can consistently see while I'm at work.
So Corey, I see you're wearing the Fruits Basket shirt, so.
Yeah. This is one of my favorite top tier.
Oh, so part of this episode we wanted to just share with some of the viewers. I know some of you don't really watch anime or anything like that, but
Maybe this can be your intro.
this can be
Give it a shot.
this can be your first shot of
If there's one thing I've learned just watching all these animes, and honestly, I've watched a lot over the last few years.
yeah, and you watch more than me.
Since COVID has
Now,
started, it's
yeah.
a whole lot. And
So
there's basically an anime for anything you can think of. Literally, just
anything. Right?
throw a random thought that you
Yeah,
have.
that is true.
There is
And
an anime for that.
There's some
Trust
anime
me.
that is a little bit, just a little bit sus. You know what I'm trying to say? It's just a little bit that.
But
that
there's
makes me-
also
there's
some
some
on the
anime that
very
makes
opposite
me-
spectrum that are the most wholesome thing you've ever seen that like just make you feel good.
There's
You know?
some anime
There's
that's made me feel
everything.
uncomfortable, and
yeah.
and this is kind of what we want to share with you
But
guys.
some
So
people
so
that-
Corey, talk nerdy to me.
Yeah. But I think the first thing we should talk about is just,
How
some,
you got?
well, no, before that, just how some people perceive it first.
Oh,
right?
okay, yeah.
So, how some people think, it's just something for, nerd, geeky,
And it's
just
funny because
people, you know what I'm
whenever,
talking about.
yeah, like back then they'd be like, oh, animation
you-
is just cartoons,
You watch anime, there's cartoons.
Oh, it's just
and this
cartoons,
and that.
or if you watch anime, don't talk to
Yeah.
and then they associate it with hentai and
Oh, yeah, they're like,
oh, just like,
you watch
mm,
porn,
yeah.
porn and this and that. Just like, hold on, first of all.
some anime does have
Just
porn. Not
think
gonna
about it
lie.
like this.
I was thinking-
Anime is just a medium of entertainment. Like, normal live action video is a form of entertainment, like how they make movies or TV shows. It's the same thing. It's animated instead of using real people, but there's every kind of genre you can think of. It's just a different platform,
Well-
different medium.
Well, and then I feel like over the years now, I feel like anime has gone a little bit better.
I
feel
think
like
it
it's
definitely
been-
has evolved to the point where there is a lot of sophistication and time and effort that goes into these that you can see when
Yeah,
you're watching them.
And then also that, and I feel like I see a lot more people wearing anime shirts. Like
No, I think
like-
it's definitely become more mainstream where it's more widely accepted. I guess
yeah,
you
now
would
it
say.
is. Like
Yeah,
it's like I came out, I watch anime. I'm free.
yeah. Honestly, I've never cared. Like growing up, I guess so. Yeah. How
So
I
so
got
like
into
so,
it
so
was
growing
like,
up, how did you start watching?
the
it?
first thing I got into was Pokemon. First thing, and most people wouldn't even consider that anime.
That's true.
But it really is.
Yeah, it
And
is.
if you watch the very new seasons of Pokemon anime,
Dude, and you know
top tier anime.
and you know what's crazy
100%.
is that I feel like religions also have a negative view on anime because I remember whenever I think Pokemon came out and then I don't know, someone was like, oh, those characters are demons or the devil, or just
You know
just stuff like that.
Oh yeah, and you know what's crazy is that show just overall promote friendship,
Yeah,
being kind to one another.
yeah, exactly.
Just being good people. That's literally what the show is about. Trying your hardest and being a good person towards everyone. Just being kind towards people, doing what you can for others.
So you're
That's
telling,
what it's about.
so you're telling me that the simps, it's all right to be a simp?
If you want to be, sure. I mean,
Well, and then my first anime was actually Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah,
You remember when
that was the second. I mean,
I did
if
not.
you want to not count Pokemon, that's the first one I got into. As
Yeah,
well.
and then you remember waking up on Saturday and then like there's a channel
First thing in the morning. Yeah.
Saturday mornings, just watch. I think it was Dragon Ball, and I think Yu-Gi-Oh came out too.
Oh,
Yu-Gi-Oh,
dude,
and then a Pokemon came out too, and
Yeah.
I used to watch that all the time, and then like in recent years, they changed that. They changed it to like I think it was like something Saturday morning, whatever. They changed it to like more educational stuff, bro. Which I'm not against,
I think then it was like, I remember after that, I started watching like Pokemon and different stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
in the weekday afternoon, like in the evenings almost, I remember watching stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I just remember like as a kid watching Pokemon in the evenings, and then we would go out and me and my dad would like go for a walk or whatever we would do. Like when I was younger, we would do that. I just remember like in the evening, I'd be watching.
Dude, do you remember the I don't know which fast food restaurant was it? I don't know if it was McDonald's or Burger King, but when they used to give out those gold plates that were Pokemon.
McDonald's, yeah.
Was it McDonald's?
I had a bunch of those.
Dude,
The
those
little
things
Pokemon
were the
Charizards,
coolest
Pikachus
things,
and
bro.
stuff, yeah.
Those things were the coolest, bro.
Yeah,
I
dude.
love having those things.
And they kept, well, not had the one that came in the actual Pokeball itself.
Oh,
Pop it open,
okay,
it had a
okay.
little stand inside.
Yeah,
So
I
that
remember
logo
that
one,
one.
I had
remember
one
that
like a legit one.
Yeah, and I think at some point too.
I remember we would take the little gold play out.
Yeah.
And we'd just take the ball, go out and play like we were trying to
Oh, you're trying to catch.
catch Pokemon.
Oh,
So,
okay. Yeah, and that's what anime should be about. You know, like more like the adventure stuff. You know, and just a little bit more light stuff. So whenever I first so right, it was Dragon Ball and then Pokemon, but like those are like the mainstream ones, right?
Yeah.
But whenever I actually started getting into like anime that's not like mainstream was whenever I was in college. I think around 2015, 14, I'd say is whenever I actually started watching. I think the first anime that I watched that wasn't those mainstream was Bleach.
Yeah.
And and I make fun of you. I make fun of me now because remember how I say, you know, watch Bleach and you got Crunchyroll and you can skip through all the episodes.
Yeah.
And well, back then we had to watch him on DVDs. You had to
You
had to
watch
wait.
every episode,
And then-
watch it weekly.
yes, and then not just that, but you had to wait for the DVD to come out, make sure that Walmart had it or not. You know, now you just have the mainstream. You just pull up any anime you want, and I'm a bit jealous because I had to watch all the fillers. But so what do you have a list of your every top anime that you watch?
Yeah. All right, we can get into it. Let's get to the meat. Okay.
So
I'm gonna bring my notes out. I know it's not the best, but I'm gonna do it because I have the list on.
okay, so I know it was a bit hard for you because you said that we
We
were trying to
were originally talking about maybe doing like a top 10.
yeah.
Which is a lot, I know. It was hard for me to narrow it down even to the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
So narrowing it down to more like a top 5
And-
was quite a bit of a challenge.
And it's harder for you because you watch more anime than I
I've
do.
just seen so many.
Like you
that-
and you finished more than I have, dude. Like
it's tough. Yeah.
I've only watched like the mainstream ones and like a little bit here and there of the ones that we watched on the site.
I see some weird.
But I know you watched some very weird ones, and I'm just like and it's only because you know how I see memes where you know they're watching anime and it's like whenever I'm watching anime, you know the cool stuff comes out. And then like your parent walks in on you watching and
Oh,
it's
the
like
worst
some
part,
like
yeah.
the worst part.
Where
Like,
it's like,
oh,
hey,
step
come
bro.
look at this or whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to come see what I'm watching? And then it's
Yeah.
like, oh, step bro.
Yeah.
Like,
All right, so let's get.
All right.
What's your? Let's go.
not in any particular order.
Or mine's in order.
I'm
I
not gonna rank them. I can't.
okay.
It's too hard for me. All right. Well, maybe. No, I'm not. I'll say Fairy Tail
Ooh.
is in my top 5.
Okay. Fairy Tail,
Yeah.
dude. Not
Well,
serious.
I'll say the first reason being is that I think that was like the first like big series me and you watched together.
That's true. That was one of the ones that we watched.
Yeah, and it was just such like a hype, like crazy fun show to watch. Like funny, like good animation, good fights. Like it was just a good
Good
time.
openings, man.
It was just your stereotypical shonen, you know, all kinds of fightings, crazy, loud main character, not too.
And
Actually, you know what? I mean, I liked it well enough to get a tattoo.
oh, that's true. You did
Well,
get a
my
tattoo.
dog
Fairy Tail.
is named after one of the characters.
Lucy.
Yeah. So
I forgot about that, man. That's true. I remember. I so whenever I watched with you, that was my second time watching it. Because you know, I don't know if I want to bring it up, but when I was watching it, it was with my ex, you know, and she was the one that actually, you know, that's one of the things that one of the things I appreciate about her was she showed me the anime because it was Bleach that I started watching with her. I appreciate it by my ex was the anime.
I sure appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah, so she was the one that got me into anime, and Fairy Tail was good, man, and it has a good vibe to it. The story's pretty good. The fights, the amount of episodes they are, it's pretty good. The openings, man.
And you know the next part's coming out too.
Oh, is that a movie?
It might be a movie, but it's with the 100-year quest.
Yeah.
1,000-year quest.
Yeah, and then
it's
it was
right.
crazy because it took them a while to get the part after that we watched recently.
Yeah.
Because remember we were waiting for it.
Oh yeah. We watched it a couple of years ago, but it came out a while before that. So.
Yeah, it's true. And then another anime that's kind of closer to that one. What's it called? Eden Zero. If you guys also know,
yes.
that was similar to Fairy Tail.
Eden Zero was by the same author.
Yeah.
And I actually started with the manga. I read all the way through Eden Zero. So I or to what what was out so far, and so I know what's happening. But as we're watching, it's a really good show, too.
Dude, and
It's the characters are similar.
yeah, they're
just
pretty
like the vibes are similar. So
Yeah.
it's just a good time. And my cat is named after the main character in that
Cheeky,
show.
that's true. Yeah, that's true. Dude, from I remember in Fairy Tale, one of the things that got to me was whenever they had that time skip. When they got frozen and they thought they thought they were all dead. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then the guild of Fairy Tale was like seen as
went from the strongest to the weakest.
yeah, like one of the weakest ones. And then Nazi comes back and they just like they take on.
No, that I think that's why we watched it. Is I saw after they come back from the time skip is when they have that big tournament about the guild.
Yeah.
And he comes back and just absolutely
Yeah.
destroys everybody. I was like, what is this? And you told me about it. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, we need to watch this. Okay, I'm
Dude.
in sold. Let's start
Dude,
right now.
one of my favorite characters from there is Gildarts, bro. Oh, dude, he has dude, like he's just badass, bro. Like some of his powers, bro, are crazy. Yeah, man. And then I like Loxus too. You know, he comes in clutch in a couple of episodes as well. So that was your first one. I'm gonna talk about my first one. I kind of mentioned it earlier. So mine's ranked. Mine's from 5 to 1. Right? So my fifth one is Bleach. That was one of the first animes I got into. It was a little bit for me. I like the art style is a little bit more not retro, but like I don't know how to. I feel like it's a little bit more soft, and it has great openings. My favorite openings from Bleach are let's see, I got opening 1, of course, because that sets the whole tone. It's called Orange, and then opening number 2, Tonight Tonight, because it has good rhythm to it, and then my fourth opening is opening 4, After Dark. That's whenever they're in, and it's at that Ronkar saga. Whenever Ichigo's fighting the Ronkars, you know.
Yeah. So
that one's
that whole anime is about the
Soul Reapers and Soul Society,
the
the Hollows, you know, and Ichigo, and I feel like it's cool because they like mix all kinds like how do I say it? Not I guess like characteristics of him. I would say like how he's hollow. He has hollow in him, and then he has what is it? Quincy, and then Soul Reapers. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. And then he also has what's his sword. What do they call this? His sword? I can't. It just left me. But one of my favorite characters on Bleach is Kenpachi. Yeah. And he's fucking overpowered, bro. You seen that first fight he has with Ichigo? I mean, I know he loses because Ichigo's main character. You know what can you do? Yeah. What can you do about the main character, man?
Well, all he did was stand there and take hits from him.
Yeah.
The whole time.
I love Kenpachi. That was one of my favorite fights was Kenpachi and Ichigo, and then my second favorite fight was whenever he fights Ulquiorra. Whenever they're up and just like Ichigo goes ham.
Yeah, that's when we all thought he died.
Dude, I mean, but he goes crazy. My boy Ichigo. His love life, which we don't know now, but it's what's the girl's name? Inoue? That's his favorite girl, but you know, spoiler alert. I mean, I shouldn't spoil it for them if they haven't watched it, but it's a bit of action, friendship.
Yeah.
You know, character development. You know, his friends are very very valuable to him. You know, he would do anything for his friends, which is another thing that the anime does teach you. You know, like value your friendships. Keep your friendships close to your heart.
Well, I think not necessarily just anime in general, but like there are some that do that more than others, and I think that falls in that category of the same like shonen type anime, which is typically is like fighting, like friendship.
Yeah, that's
the main character's gonna win every fight. Like you know what I mean.
And there are some pretty cool lessons to be learned from it.
Oh, for sure.
And you know, and just like what he did for Rukia, you know, he literally went to the Soul Society to save her, you know, because she was gonna be executed, right? Mm-hmm. So I mean, that was my first anime, and the very first anime that wasn't Dragon Ball, Pokemon. That's the reason why it's a little bit my top 5. Oh, something I do hate. I'm gonna tell you guys this now. If you do watch Bleach. And I told you whenever you first watched it was to you can go to Google and just check out which episodes are not canon. So that means fillers, right?
There's a lot of
There's a lot of fillers on Bleach, and that's why it's a little bit lower than my other ones. You know, if it didn't have fillers, you know, it'd be one of like my top two, whatever.
You only get that with the really long
Yeah,
series. You know what I mean?
yeah,
If it's just one season, you're not gonna have pretty much any.
yeah, dude, and it's crazy
But
because
yeah, those long.
a lot of those fillers
Naruto.
they did not go, they did not matter to the story, you know. And I'm
No.
just like, bro, like,
Sometimes they're just like fun stories, like
Yeah.
beach episodes or
Yeah, dude.
holiday episodes, Christmas.
I mean-
or, you
I mean,
know.
and it's all Bleach is also pretty funny, you know.
Yeah.
So I feel like has some comedy stuff in there, but that was my
I think it did have a lot more comedic styles at the beginning as
Yeah.
opposed to like where they're currently at, where it's like very, very serious.
Yeah,
You know
dude,
what I mean?
it's-
So
it's
a huge
intense, you know.
range, and they built a big world and story throughout it. It's a good watch for sure.
yeah. I would recommend that one. I know it just really depends on what you're into, but give it a shot. And I know the kind of like it's a little bit slow, but give it a shot. And then it's still ongoing, so we're actually watching.
Oh yeah, we're still watching. It comes out
they-
a new episode every week,
yeah,
so we're still
on
watching
Hulu.
that.
So that was my fifth episode.
So
My fifth episode. My fifth anime. Shit.
the first one that I watched after like the childhood, you know, iconic ones, but it was actually Toradora, and that started with COVID because we were just stuck at home, and I was just through with things watching like on
Yeah.
Netflix. I think is what I was watching, and so I threw that on. I was like, you know, I'll give it a shot. Amazing, absolutely amazing. You know, I actually recommended it to a few friends. T being one of them.
Uh-huh.
He said he loved watching it.
Dude, did I watch that one?
We started watching it the other day, and you were saying you were kind of into it. But
Yeah, I like.
basically, two main characters, a very small girl named Taiga, a really big guy named Ryuji.
Mhm.
They kind of hate each other at first, but then they're working together to be with other people, but then they fall in love. It's, you know, it's the whole
Oh,
thing. Right, so
okay.
it's
Dude.
it's basically like a rom-com.
Yeah.
And there's some drama in there too, though.
Oh,
But
wait, is it the one where they're in high school? And then I think they all think that he's like a bully
they
or whatever.
think he's a yeah.
And then on the first day she comes and like kicks or like knocks him
Well,
down and then
everybody's afraid of her
uh,
because she actually just is rough.
Yeah.
And everybody's afraid of him because he looks like he's a
yeah.
mean person.
See,
And that, honestly, I think that I kind of just identified with him a little bit because
Uh-huh.
when I was in like middle school and coming into high school, it was like, oh, I thought you just look like you're mean
I
or
see.
always mad. Or I'm like, nah, I'm just me. So when I watched, I was like, oh, I get you. I get your plight. Like, I don't know. It just like there's little things in that one for me that made me attached to it, you know.
oh, okay.
And
Does it have any good I don't remember if it has any good openings or anything.
no, it just has the same one throughout. No, I don't like it specifically for that.
Oh,
It's
okay, I
just
see.
the story,
The story
and the
behind it.
characters,
Okay.
and it's just very, very good. I would recommend it to anybody, especially if it's your first one. That's
Oh,
a great
okay.
one to start with.
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
a really good life one. I know some of them are like more like action and more like
Yeah.
fantasy
Well, this
stuff.
one, if you're
This is
gonna
more like
start
real
with
life,
it, this
right?
one you can relate to. It. Even,
Oh, okay.
there's so many characters in it that you can relate to one of the
I
characters in the
see.
show, and
Okay.
it just draws you in a little bit more. You know,
Yeah.
like we've all been there.
I see.
Yeah. So that's definitely one of the tops.
Oh shoot. Okay. So my fourth one, it's gonna be Black Clover. I know me and you started watching that one. I think was it before COVID too? A little bit?
No, that was just a couple years ago.
Yeah. So we started watching that one too. I like it because it has a really great art style. First of all, you know.
Oh, you can actually we have a poster. of
Yeah, that's true,
Right,
that's true,
right
that's true.
behind you.
That's true, man. You know, let's see I like. Okay, my favorite characters from Black Clover is Captain Yami, bro. He's my favorite. You know, I know there's a bunch of
You know what? He's so cool. He gets a picture right here. That's yummy.
Captain Yami, man. He's the ultimate hype man, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he's like, Asta,
I would say
past your limits. You know,
I
like,
wouldn't. Yeah.
Like,
he's always pushing you. Past
he's
your
always
limits.
pushing
It
his
may
boys, you
not
know?
be the easiest thing, but he's doing what's best for you
Hey,
to get you there.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So it's basically wizards, right? The
It's
main
a
character.
whole world that relies on magic for
Harry Potter.
Eh,
It's like think about Harry Potter, but I don't know, right?
magic. Well, yeah, kind
Because
of
they have
like
magic rooms. They have.
they do, kind of. Basically, yeah, a magic world. Everything is done with magic
Yeah.
of some kind.
But it's crazy because the main character he doesn't
But
have magic.
He has
He's a mogul. Is that a
whatsoever.
mogul? Right? That's what.
Muggle?
A muggle.
No.
He would be,
Well, yes.
he would be a
equivalent,
muggle
yeah,
in Harry
yeah.
Potter terms. But he has, so he doesn't have magic, but he has crazy physical abilities, and
He just works very hard.
yeah, he works very hard, and he believes in what he can do, which is being the Wizard King, right?
Yep.
So
Aim for the top.
he believes in himself,
Work
man.
hard, aim for the top.
And
That's what he's doing.
and that's kind of how we're doing it. We have the podcast. We want to believe in what we're doing. Right? We said we were gonna have the Moonlight here thing set up, and we did it. We got 2 mics on me, so we're like Austin. We're doing what we're setting to do. Moving forward, man.
Yeah.
Pretty good opening songs. I think my
that Black Clover has top tier openings.
I have,
Black Rover.
Black Rover.
Personal favorite. I agree with you.
That was opening 3.
Yeah.
Opening 2, Painted Black, and then opening 5. I don't know how to say that one, but it's pretty good ones. I like all of them. That one doesn't have any fillers, so I was very, very. I don't think it has fillers, huh?
No, I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, so that one doesn't have fillers. I would recommend that one too if you're into like the more action, stuff and just like cool fights all
Action,
around.
adventure, fantasy.
Yeah, there's some pretty good fights in there. Captain Yami fights. That one actually has a plot twist towards the middle. Remember,
Mm-hmm.
whenever everything was fine, and then out of nowhere we're like, the devil. Remember that, bro? Like that was pretty crazy, man. Like just out of nowhere, it got me off guard, bro. Like that shit, it got me off guard, and that's one of the reasons why it's in my top 5 because just like the way they did it, like that you had no clue where it was gonna come at you, and they just
for sure.
you're like, holy shit, like they added the devil and shit, like I don't know, man. And that was a pretty crazy fight. You feel like there's no way they're gonna get out of it, So that was my 4th one.
Let's see. My next one is actually we'll go with the sports anime. That's my next one.
Okay.
Yeah, so this one is called iShield 21. iShield. And so if you're not super familiar with American football,
Yeah.
iShield, what they wear over their face mask to protect their eyes. Just like the little visors that they put on their helmets. Yeah. So basically the whole story is there's this really wimpy little kid named Senna. And tiny. And everyone picks on him. He's the gopher for everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so one day, the leader of the football team just happens to see him running around, and he's crazy fast, right?
Oh,
so
shit.
they recruit him to be on the football team.
Oh,
this
damn.
little tiny nerd is going to be their new
running back? Oh, shit. I haven't seen that one.
Yep. And so his number is 21, and he wears an eye shield because they don't want anybody to know that their star running back is a little nerd. Because the entire school rallies behind him.
Really?
And if they figured out he was this little nerd that everybody picks on,
Yeah.
And so everybody just calls him Eye Shield 21.
So he's kind of like a superhero wearing a mask. No one knows who he is.
Basically, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And so the entire show is going on, carrying the team. Their goal is to get to the championship.
Yeah.
And what you learn throughout this thing is, don't judge somebody just based off how they look. Anybody can work hard and, get to their goal.
Yeah.
Right? And so this entire show is just them working as hard as they can. They push all the way, and they get it. At the very end, yes, they win their championship.
Is it a long? Is it a long?
It's pretty decent length, honestly. I can't remember off the top of my head. Close to 100 episodes, if I had to just put a guess on it.
That's not bad, man. I want to watch that because
It's definitely worth a watch.
Cause
It is kind of long. There are a couple episodes you could probably skip if you wanted to that you could say were filler, but honestly, overall, just an awesome show.
I know
the character development for every single character is just crazy.
See, because I know some of the ones that you recommend that they're pretty good. The ones that you recommended me. Actually, one of the ones they recommended me is like my top 2. We'll get into that more. Anything else you want to add about? Do you have any openings? Any good music about it?
No, that one I'm just sold on the story on that
Story.
one, man. Yeah, I like sports. Football is fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's just like
Okay.
watching that. It also made it. Basically, this show was introducing football to Japan. So there's points in it where they have little segments where they have an actual Japanese professional football player showing them how to do things and like it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just super cool.
And you know what? Whenever you first said sports anime, I thought you were gonna say actually Haikyuu.
Yeah,
'Cause
Haikyuu is like the
Haikyuu's-
most mainstream sports.
It's
anime.
pretty good too. You know, I like that one too, and I like the main character and just
Yeah.
his development as well.
Haikyuu is awesome. I think that's probably one of the first sports anime that I watched.
Yeah, I think that's
After that, though, I'm into basketball personally. So I watched a few different ones, but the newest one, I don't want to say the newest, but Kuroko's basketball,
mhm.
I love that one.
Yeah.
It did not make my list, but if you liked basketball or
just
sports
anime,
sports anime,
yeah.
watch that one. That one's a really good watch too.
Okay. So my third one is actually like a mainstream one. I know a lot of people might actually know it or not, you know, but it's Naruto.
Nice.
Let's see, where do I start? I like Naruto. I one of my favorite characters on Naruto is Kirby Sage Jiraiya.
Yeah.
Jiraiya, so basically Naruto is this kid, right? What first stuff going on is he's an outcast, you know, because he doesn't have any parents, you know.
So you're saying you relate to the main character?
I did,
Because
bro.
you're
I
a
actually,
little outcast nerd.
no, really, I did. You know that scene where he's sitting on the swing, just swinging by himself, bro. Like that made me cry, bro. When I was like watching it, like I was like, that's me, bro. Like, but that's how I relate to Naruto. And then just Jiraiya, you know, well, of course I have my parents, you know, but you know they're divorced anyways. But you know, just him not having parents and him just like being an outcast, just at first he's a troublemaker, right? Because no one, you know, just seeking attention. No one really cares for him too much, and but then he starts gaining friends again. You know, he starts people start caring for him. You know, and one of those people is Jiraiya, Kirby Sage Jiraiya. You know, and he teaches Naruto one of his signature, you know, jutsu, which is the Rasengan, right? And then well, Kirby Sage is a Kirby. You know, he likes to peek on girls and he reads those are they porn magazines or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know, but Kirby Sage is a writer and he actually gave Naruto his name and so I like Kirby Sage and then I like Minato because Minato he's fast and he has he's Naruto's dad.
Oh.
And so whenever Jiraiya and Minato were discussing, you know, names, Minato was like, "Hey man, I want to give my son the name Naruto, you know, because since Jiraiya writes books, one of the characters' name in the book is named Naruto.
Oh yeah.
You know, so he gave Naruto his name before he was born, and it's funny because I think he says I thought of the name Naruto whenever I was eating ramen. And what's crazy is that Naruto loves ramen, you know.
Yeah,
And another signature thing about Naruto is that you know everyone started doing the ninja run, you know. You remember when everyone was doing that? That was pretty. That was a pretty funny stuff going on whenever people started doing that, and it has good openings. You know, classic one, Bluebird. One of my other ones is whenever Jiraiya dies because he fights Pain and he gets killed. But there is a song. I think it's called Flow. That song is pretty. It hits you in the heart, you know. Cause,
right in the feels.
right in the feels, man. Another thing I don't like about Naruto. Can you guess it?
Either bit of yelling or
The fillers, man.
Oh, the amount of,
It has fillers too.
stuff in between.
It has fillers too. So if you're not, I mean, you can just go on Google and just skip the fillers. But I mean,
you should just watch it. If you're gonna watch Naruto, you should
oh,
watch
okay,
it.
I see. Because there are some around the episode.
Because you pick up little stuff in like just every episode.
I guess that makes sense. Favorite fights. Of course, Jiraiya whenever he fights Pain, and then Madara whenever he takes on everyone.
Yeah.
Like just like the amount of power this man has, and just they overpowered him, just taking a full army, bro.
I like when Naruto comes back with his like full power up,
Oh,
Sage
yeah.
mode, full, you know what I mean, Kurama and all.
Mm.
Yeah.
yeah. So that was my third one. Um, it's a classic one. You know?
Yeah.
So two more to go for me.
Yeah, I'd say. Well, the next one we'll just talk about the one that's on the shirt. We'll talk about Fruits Basket.
Oh, that's actually my second one.
Yeah, and I told you that that one was mine. It was gonna go on my list, but anyway.
Dude, go ahead.
So, Fruits Basket,
Oh,
top tier anime. I honestly, if I had to put number one on one of them, it would I think be that one. And the reason being is the characters are amazing, the story's amazing. Just it hits you in the feels, like
I mean, and honestly, man, if like my ideal girl is kind of based on her, you know,
just like the nice, sweet,
dude, like just
caring.
nice, yes,
Like,
nice.
I'll be
caring,
honest,
bro.
that's not a high bar just to have a nice, caring person.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be.
you know,
But yeah, like that's the perpetual like cares more for others than themselves. It's like the ideal, nice, caring partner. You know what I mean?
and then I'm just her being interested, you know, like just I feel like no, you know, not to bag on girls or just the dating scene nowadays, you know, but I mean just showing that you wanna talk to that person, you know, like
Yeah.
because she cares for what's it?
Well, we'll talk about the main characters.
Yeah, go ahead.
Toru is
Uh-huh.
the girl, Yuki, and Kyo.
Yeah.
The three main characters.
Kyo is the cat, right?
Kyo is the cat.
Kyo is the cat, and then Yuki is
He's the mouse.
so it's
And
about
so, yeah,
Go
the
ahead.
12 zodiac signs, they each have an animal assigned to them. And they actually have a person representation in real life.
Mhm.
And they actually can turn into those animals.
but how
If they get touched by a girl, right?
they get touched by the opposite sex.
The opposite sex.
Yeah, so whenever I thought I think it's so cute whenever she hugs the cat,
Yeah.
and then like cause he's like a tough character, you
He's
know,
a tough guy.
kind of like and he rubs off wrong on people
He
sometimes
rubs
too,
people wrong, yeah,
and people just see him as like oh
they don't get it.
yeah, and she
Yeah.
does she takes the time to actually get to know him, and you know there's some funny things on there too, and I kind of. I was debating between if I wanted her to be with Yuki or with
Oh, I know. I think we talked about that as we were going through the
Yeah.
show. Just I don't think I really. I think I picked Yuki if I remember correctly, just because I think I liked his character a little bit more, just like calm, cool, collected.
yeah, and
Kyo's just like a
Kyo.
in your face, loud.
yeah, and
There's benefits to both, I guess.
and Yuki's actually really he's a brother, man. He's a friend because he sees that they like each other, right?
Yeah, so he steps aside.
So he wasn't gonna interfere in that, you know, and
life lesson
with boys, you
for
know,
the boys.
and I think another life lesson is her name Akito the
Oh, the one who is God. Yeah.
What's
for
her name?
the Zodiac's Akito. Yeah.
Akito. So I feel like throughout the show they were kind of constrained to like do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was a toxic relationship, you know, because it was like, oh, like you ever had that relationship where you're a girl and she's like, oh, it's whatever I want to do, you know.
I don't
Like-
know anybody in the bus. But yeah, I get you.
Well, I'm not saying say names, you know, but like there's like that girl is like it's only me, you know, and if you don't do what I say, you know, it's gonna be I'll be very upset, you know. That's kind of how I saw her, or I don't know if it's a her.
It's
It's a girl, right? And all zodiacs they do whatever she wants. So and if they don't, you know, they get in trouble, or, you know, or something negative happens, you know.
yeah.
And she's batshit crazy. But remember when she threw her?
Like smacking people, cutting
Yeah.
them up, like crazy stuff. Like
She almost
God
killed someone.
complex, yeah.
She almost
It's
killed someone.
crazy.
So that's another thing too, is that you have to learn.
Yeah, that one of the big lessons of that show was like, I don't know if it was lessons, but like themes was like freedom.
Yeah.
Like not, like you said, not being constrained or held down or like being put in this one little box by somebody.
Well, and because and honestly, if it was kind of like about love, you know, that there's different types of love throughout the show, right? And I feel like I said, freedom, right?
I think that was how they broke the spell that like kept them together, was if they loved each other.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. So and when it comes to love, you can't force someone to stay with you. You can't force love, you know.
Exactly.
So that's like that's why there's a lot of relationships now. You know, we can relate it back to our lives, right? It's like just because you want to be with them, you know, doesn't mean you love them. You know, you might just be with them because you don't have no one else to be with, but you know, they force you to be there, you know, because they're comfortable with you or whatever, or you know, like whenever you're in that relationship with that guy that beats you up or whatever, you always go back with them because that's what you're used to. But
have you been in relationships with guys that beat you
man,
up?
they beat me pretty hard, man. And I mean, that's the reason why I keep coming back. You know? I'm just used to it. But
These are all jokes, by the way.
but yeah, that's what I feel like overall in our life experiences is how we can relate some of these enemies because you know like that you don't want to be in a toxic relationship. You know, you should identify. You know, if you're being forced to be with someone or not. You know, and love is just freedom. So that was actually my second pick for that on my list.
You can jump to your number one then and go from there.
Well, my number one, and I know a lot, and I know you might have a different opinion on it or whatever, but and I checked it out on different websites, you know, IGN, Crunchyroll, and I looked it up just to make sure that it was a top anime, and it is number one on their websites. And for me, it's a Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Before you get into it, can I say
what?
When I had my top 10 list, that was the first one I cut off my top 10. So your number one was my first cut off.
No.
Just throwing that out there.
But I mean, it wasn't your top 10 though.
It wasn't my top 10.
Okay, so Full Metal Alchemist, it's a crazy.
You told me to watch that one too.
Yeah, it's a crazy beginning because it's two brothers, right? Their mom actually passes away. So they try to bring her back, and they're young. I think they're like around 12. I think Al's 12, and Ed's 13. So Edward, he's the oldest one.
In this world, they have alchemy.
Yeah, they have alchemy, bro. And so it's forbidden to bring back. You know, it's a taboo to bring back the dead. And so they did it at such a young age, but because they were renowned. They were pretty good alchemists, you know, at their age. So they were really a lot of people knew who they were, right, growing up. So whenever they did it, so in alchemy, what you want, you have to give the same back, but it has to be the same. What we say, the same value.
Yeah,
I guess pretty much.
Equal returns.
Yes.
Yeah. So whatever you're using to say like turning, what is it like, rock to gold or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Whatever you're. So if you're getting that, you turn your rock into gold. You're giving him something of equal value in return.
Yeah. So
lifespan or chemical, whatever it is.
So exactly, and that's sort of right. It kind of shows you that life, you know, there's nothing. Life is more precious than anything, right? So so they try to bring the mom back, and the youngest brother, Ed, he uses his full body. Ed.
No.
No, Alphonse loses his whole body.
Yeah.
He's the one. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, Alphonse, right? Okay, so Alphonse loses his full body, and then Ed loses his arm and his leg.
Yeah.
So my favorite characters from that show, Mustang.
Yeah.
You know, what these are the fire alchemists, and then I like the Ice Princess Armstrong. You know.
Oh yeah.
Because she just has that I don't give a damn, you know, whatever whenever it's gonna, I'm gonna do whatever I can to, you know, just like just a strong figure to go by. And whenever she meets Ed and Al, like she teaches them that, you know, like, I don't care who you are, but these are the things that we have to do, you know. It has pretty good openings. I love the openings. My favorite ones would be Ray of Light and then Rain by Sid, because it hits you in the feels, that one too.
Yeah, that one has one of like the saddest scenes I've seen.
Yeah.
I think you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. It has a lot of things, you know. It has.
Oh, you know, there's a couple of sad ones actually. I don't know if you're thinking of the same ones. I can talk about one of them.
Wait, which one's?
The one I was talking about, the first one is when the colonel gets shot in the foot.
Oh, dude.
That one was tough.
That was tough.
And then the second was the little girl.
Oh yeah.
And the dog.
That one was one of the saddest
And
ones.
if
military. You know,
military
they're
power.
and it's about their sins, right? So
Homunculus.
and then a lot of stuff. And the main villain, he was a homunculus. And he's trying to get eternal life. He gets eternal life, and then he tries to become God, right? So he wants to sacrifice the whole country, right, to get his eternal life.
Yeah. Well, it's like you're talking about the laws of alchemy. You have to give out something if you want something, right? So he's having to give. It's not necessarily being immortal. He's just taking everybody's lifespans and adding
Yeah.
it to his own.
And it's crazy because so the main villain was made by Ed's and Al's dad. So and Al's dad, he is immortal too because he made the main villain, and so and eventually the main villain creates his sons, which are the sins, you know, wrath, gluttony, and all those, and the conspiracy is, you know, he's trying to sacrifice everyone in the country, right? And there's other ways, you know, they start wars by killing other people in countries, you know, Dish Fallen, you know, they kill them and take their lives too, you know. So it's like, and it makes you think to now, you know, to the government now, you know, Iraq, you know, like how do we they're taking
different wars that have been started
for different reasons, you know, and it all starts by a false flag attack, you know, for the Ishval and actually one of the sins, he can shapeshift, right? So he shapeshifts into an Ishvalan and he attacks a soldier from the capital, right? And that's how that war started. So and that's why the military and that's how the military went in and killed the whole. Well, they had a war, right? And they pretty much annihilated the Ishvalan, right? Think about it, right? What happened with Iraq? How do we start in Iraq? You know, 9/11. You know, we don't know. We don't know if it's false flag or not. You know, but it's kind of suspicious, right? So they attack Twin Towers, and then what happens next? We go
go to war.
We go to war, right?
Yeah.
For mass destruction, weapons of mass destruction. You know, kind of the same thing, and that's kind of why I like Full Metal Alchemist. You know, it has good songs, good characters, good fights. You know, just the story behind it, and there's no fillers. It's a short one. You know, so this is not it's not a short one. It's not a long one. It's like I think like 60, 70 episodes max.
Yeah.
And that's one of the main ones that was the second anime that I watched full on, you know,
That's
and
your number one.
that's my number one. That's my number one. If you guys want to check it out, I would recommend watching it too. Yeah. So what's next for you?
My number one, like I said, no specific order, but my last one that I had on the list was Horimiya, and it's basically another rom-com set in high school. Basically, the overall story is like there's this bad guy, like a bad boy character, right? Has tattoo in high school, piercings, and all that kind of shit. And basically, he hides that side from everybody while he's at school, so nobody knows. He's just some quiet kid. And then this girl sees him outside of school. Like, oh my gosh, this guy's so cool! Like he's like kind of like crazy looking, has like piercings and has a tattoo, like whatever. And so it's like she figures out that he's this other person, and they just fall in love, and it's the story of how they get together, and then there's stories within the story within their friend groups, and it's just a really good story.
Have I watched that one?
You may just see me watching it, but
I feel like I need to watch that one, the Shield 21, and then I want to watch the Toradora again because and then eventually I want to watch Fruits Basket again, and then we did talk about watching Fairy Tail again, right? So I feel like I need to watch your top 5 because they're pretty interesting.
Yeah, and the ones that didn't make
the list,
they were the more obscure ones.
Honorable mentions, let's go.
Yeah, we can throw some honorable mentions. Let's see. Well, Pokemon was on the list. We talked about that. That was just like a one growing up.
Dang, you had to cut that one out.
I cut it out just because.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't Toy With Me, Miss Noctoro. That's a really good one. I'm not going to get into specific details now. Just if you want to watch it, they're my honorable mentions. They're worth a watch. Classroom of the Elite, very good. Assassination Classroom, FMA
movies, man?
superhero.
I like the
Batman
movies.
was good. Like,
Dude, Broly. I think my favorite one out of the ones that came out recently is probably Broly.
you like
Dude.
that one?
I like
I
that
like the latest one, Superheroes.
That was cool too because it brings Gohan's, like
New form.
it brings him
and,
back.
Like, moving into the new stuff. Like, that's
So some of my honorable mentions, definitely Hunter x Hunter.
Hunter.
Hunter x Hunter, man.
Death Note is really good.
Okay, I was gonna
Top
say
Gun.
Fire Force. I haven't watched that
Fire
one.
Force. But I think one of the best openings of all time is
Fire
Fire Force. The original opening.
Yes.
Top
That
two.
thing goes hard, man. And some of these anime, bro, like they just they pump me up. Like sometimes it's funny because I have the Black Rover theme song for my alarm, dude. Like I remember when I used to work back in the fields picking onions and everything, dude. Like
I have the 7 Deadly Sins as my alarm.
oh, Seven Deadly
So
Sins is another
that's a
honorable
good
mention
one,
too. My Hero Academia. I know a lot of people are really into that one too.
We have Deku right here, Rashidi, man.
Yeah.
My hero.
And remember in the first few episodes that we made, we were on the cabinets and
Yeah.
we would have all those.
Reincarnated as a slime.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Real good. There's a lot. There's just
There's
a
a
lot.
lot of them.
There's so many that we can talk about.
Demon Slayer?
Demon Slayer is a really popular mainstream one that's very good as well.
Yeah. So anything else you want to add to that?
Just give it a shot, guys.
And
I
you-
think you'll be surprised if you just. There's something for everybody out there in anime. If you just give it a shot, you'll be surprised.
And like how you said, man, there's literally an anime about everything.
Anything and everything you can think of, there's already an anime about it.
There was an anime that we were watching about that guy that gets transported to another universe, and he has that menu where he can cook stuff or whatever.
Oh yeah, it's campfire cooking in another world with my absurd skill. Yeah, that was really funny too.
What are some weird ones that you watched?
Some weird one.
Because I know Food Wars.
You want to hear the weirdest one I've seen?
Yeah, what's the weirdest one?
It's called Mysterious Girlfriend X, and the plot of this show is warning. It's very weird. We're gonna talk. All right, we're talking about it.
Say it,
All
bro.
right, so basically, these are they're kids in school, they're dating, and the boyfriend likes the girlfriend's saliva.
Oh, I know what you mean.
So sometimes they'll she'll dip her finger and they'll suck on it, or I've seen the character lick the drool off the desk because she fell asleep was drooling. It was just very disturbing. I watched a few episodes, so I was you know how if you're just disturbed by something, you just can't look away.
Yeah.
You're just in shock.
Yeah.
So I watched 3 or 4 episodes before I was finally I cannot
You're
watch
done.
this anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's the weirdest one I've seen. I mean, there are limits even for me. So that's what that's telling me.
Wow. That's an interesting one. So also, if any of you guys watch anime, let us know. If there's any anime that we didn't mention that you guys watch, that would make
Maybe
your
you
top
have some
5.
different favorites.
Yeah, or maybe recommend some that we haven't watched that we maybe haven't seen one that.
I'm always open to new ones.
Honestly, and then let us know if you agree with my top 5 because I know mine was
Or
lower.
whose top 5 do you like?
Yeah,
more?
whose was better?
We don't have to rate each other, but go ahead.
If you like my top 5, give me a shout out, and if you like Corey's, just put in the comments.
Let me know.
Let me know, but we know who's the best.
And so the last thing we were going to do today was, in honor of our friend Teen's birthday, which we mentioned earlier, we were going to watch a couple more TikToks, ones that
Specifically from him.
featured T.
Yeah.
I ask you.
Is this revealing for a public pool?
Kind of a guess you're crying off my desk.
Yeah.
But it makes you
So
uncomfortable too.
what was the context on this?
This was from a show called Parks and Rec.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that one.
Where they were bringing this up, I think at some kind of city council meeting. And this guy was like, why can't I be like this in the public pool or something? And so this is actually I think we talked about this last week. We were watching TikToks. The shorts came
Oh,
from this
okay.
video. Yeah.
Dude, that was Corey without a beard.
Oh yeah, then that was me when I shaved.
Beardless Corey is not a vibe, man. I'm sorry.
So that we recorded this when we were right when quarantine
COVID started.
started. Yeah, we're like, well, how long are we gonna be stuck inside? And we like The Office, right? So this
Yeah.
is Jim messing with Dwight.
Could be 1 month, could be 2 months. 3 months. Could be 4 months. I can see that happening, yes. 8 months. That's a realistic timeline. 11 months. Perhaps. I really think hard about this one. 1 year. I could see that as a very real possibility. 494 months. I can see that happening. 495 months, that's just...
And the last, I don't know, he may not like us showing this, but we'll do it anyway.
I mean, it's on TikTok, man. Happy birthday, T. Happy birthday, T.
That's all I gotta say about that one. Happy birthday, big guy.
Holy moly.
Well, anyway, that's our friend T. Everybody wish him a happy birthday in the comments too. Check out his TikTok if you want to. You can see those videos for yourself.
Bro, he's
gonna hate us.
Anyways, is that it? We out?
Yeah, so that's it for this week,
We're
guys.
cutting it out.
Yeah, let us know if you want to talk about anything specific next week. I don't think we have anything specifically planned yet, but
I think we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out in the meantime. We're just gonna give our perspectives on
different stuff.
So,
it might not, if we were talking about different, if you guys have different topics, we'll go ahead and give you our views.
Maybe we'll hit some sports next time.
Yeah. Honestly, sports would be
Maybe we might
nice.
have a sports episode. Actually, we're talking about maybe like the summer league or stuff like Wimbledon. I've been watching some tennis lately too. So
You've been watching tennis?
Yeah, maybe we'll talk about that next time.
Shit.
Yeah, that's been kind of cool lately.
Yeah. So I guess sports will, and then the women's World Cup's coming up.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we
we
can
can
do that next time.
start
Talk about some stuff next time,
Yeah.
guys. But anyway, Corey over here.
Mike on the mic, giving you the goodbyes.
We'll see y'all next time.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in, and give us a shout out, and we'll leave us a comments. See you later.
Like it.